Hey, I'm Mike Retro Boost, and I got another commentary video for you today. I'm going to be going over the second episode that I produced for the channel. That's the Star Fox 64 revisit. I filmed this a few weeks after I finished the Metroid video. The interesting thing is I was still doing post-production work on the Metroid one as I was creating this one, learning new things, and the logo still wasn't done yet, so all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm going to take you through it, commentate on it, go into some of the behind-the-scenes trivia, show some alternate takes. Different than the Metroid one. In the Metroid one I just did, the commentary one, I overlaid the alternate takes over the main footage. This time I'm actually going to just cut away to them. I'm going to see which option people prefer of the two ways of doing it, so that's what I'm going to do this time. I'll call it out before it happens. But with that said, let's hop right into it. 3, 2, 1, go. So this one has a cold open. I guess the right term for this, right? You get the gameplay right away. Fox is saying, Andros won't have his way with me. So like, the joke is that, you know, when he's saying you won't have your way with me, it's adult humor, because the game is rated kids to adults. There's like so many hilarious out of context voice lines in Star Fox, but like no one I ran this by understood the joke. Like I thought it was funny, but like no one else really got it except for one of my friends who knows this game really well. Okay. But I thought it was pretty funny. Let's move forward. I can't wait to play this game again. It's a classic. I play it all the time when I was young. So obviously, this is also the last one where I wear that purple jacket. I haven't worn that for a revisit ever since. I've been doing this sweater, and I got a new white one that I wore for the Action Replay episode. This one also has the current setting for most episodes now. This couch right here, because now it's my current setup. The office chair, living room thing is gone. You know, I was figuring it out more. The footage for this game comes from the Wii Virtual Console version. I did record some footage of the N64 version for the Rumble Pack. That's the only time that it gets used in this. It's very brief. But I always try to use whatever's going to look the best. And the Virtual Console version looks the best. With this episode, I was trying to find a way to make it shorter, because the Metroid one's like 40 minutes. This one's half that. It's like just over 20. So I was trying to improve and condense information, so rather than getting like super detailed, I kind of go over what the game's about, a lot of the primary aspects of the gameplay, mention the characters and the dialogue. You know, I think it's done pretty well. I think I did it even better with the Kirby one. But it's hard, man. Like you got things that you want to talk about, and you do it all, and then you're like, oh god, it's an hour-long video. Like, not everyone wants to be a part of that, you know. It's tough.
5 minutes to an hour to go from start to end credits.
I had to play this game so much to get this footage, though. Like beginning to end, I probably completed the game six times, give or take, to get the footage for it. You know, only a fraction of which is actually in the final product. That's a cool editing thing there, blue, yellow, red.
You can actually shift.
I was getting better with the editing software too.
You're able to choose where you go next. And this is where you can go from easy to medium, or from hard to medium, or just all over the place.
Macbeth is my favorite level.
To take you across the map.
That's my favorite.
So you can really achieve a crazy
I screwed
order of events
the warp thing up a couple times trying to get footage for it, which sucks because you gotta sit through that asteroid auto-scrolling level. It's so boring. This game is really good, but there's
awesome.
there's a couple of parts that I
I
don't
do
care
want to
for.
take this opportunity to briefly talk about the original game in the series, the first Star Fox.
Now it's
If only because
not
I'm never going to do
this
like a
shot.
dedicated
There's a
episode
there's
for
a
this game. I
take
just don't think there's
of me
enough to
talking
talk
about something
so
here
might as
where
well
I
just
filmed it at
sprinkle
like
here.
6 a.m.
But the main
and you can
thing
see that my
is
hair
this
is like
game is very unique
frizzy
because it's an
after getting out of the
experiment. It's a
shower. My
tech
nose, you can see that it's
They're
like shiny
basically thinking,
because of
well,
like
we want to do some new
being
technology.
recently
We don't
in the
wanna
shower or
quite
whatever.
release a new Super Nintendo.
I couldn't
So
sleep and I woke up and I was like,
instead
God,
of
just
upgrading
take.
the console, let's
So I did this like a
upgrade
6
the
a.m. shoot.
cartridge, which is exactly what they did. You'll see on there that it says Super FX.
I wasn't originally going to talk about
I
both
also
of them.
really like
But-
the cartridge itself.
excuse
Star
me.
Fox is on
I
there.
don't know why I yawn. I get talking and just feel tired.
I'm Star Fox.
I apologize.
Anyway,
I wasn't originally gonna do both of them, but then it got to a point where I wanted to like make references between the two, since Star Fox 64 is a remake. And then I was like, let's just
I'm only aware of
let's
one
just
other game
give my 2 cents on Star Fox SNES.
collection at least, and that's Yoshi's Island.
Which, with that said, Star Fox SNES and this clip right here of Yoshi's Island are the last two game captures I did with the Elgato card. Everything since then has been a StarTech card. Because I thought the Elgato card was defective because it does that stutter thing. And I brought this up in the Metroid commentary. You can see it in the Star Fox one too. It's so frustrating. But I actually fixed the issue. It had to do with the decoding process, or encoding process rather. Star Fox has such a killer soundtrack, by the way.
Them graphics.
God, I did a lot of takes of that scene.
Magic, Wignut Films,
They're
ATI.
it's just kind of ridiculous.
Stuff anymore?
ATI.
I don't
I think ATI did the graphics card for like the GameCube. I think is where I'm getting that from.
Super effects chip.
There were a lot of alternate takes of that bit though. I can play like one or two of them right now.
Already seen from what I
Those graphics! Get out of the way, ATI, Wignut Films, cause your boy Nintendo coming at you with that Super FX chip.
yeah, then earlier, you're probably saying to yourself, well, this looks
A lot of them. They're not all.
it should.
I don't know. It's
Star Fox
tough
64
coming up with
is a remake
material.
of the original. Not just in spirit, but I mean design.
Game
too.
is hard,
It's
too.
essentially the same game. You have multiple paths you can get to Venom.
I've never gotten past the Space Armada.
You can do little barrel rolls to deflect shots. You can upgrade your
Space
laser,
Armada is the farthest I've gotten
squad mates
on most
bantering with
playthroughs of
you.
this game.
Every stage has a boss fight. It's really the same game. It's just a matter of
Shit, the
graphical
crosshair.
performance differences.
It'd be so much easier with the
console
crosshair.
generations. The choice of color is really good. They spent a lot of time clearly. trying to
The
figure
choice of
out
the,
how
yeah,
to
I'm talking about the
make
color choice. I mean, yeah, like the color that they picked for everything works pretty well because like even though it looks like it does,
So, had to be careful.
it's not hard to tell what things are, what's an enemy, what's shootable, what's an obstacle, etc. Like everything pops really nicely. I will give the game credit for that. Absolutely.
And it's also worth mentioning the soundtrack is just awesome.
The soundtrack is pretty great.
The only real negative
It's
things
very,
I can say about it, number
catchy.
one, it's pretty difficult, and some of the difficulty is due to the control. I feel like it isn't the most responsive game, and I think that's mainly
Yeah, there was like a
because
weird. It was like a little sluggish the way it
having a
controlled
directional pad for a game
the
like this isn't the greatest.
the game
I
there.
feel like when I press down or up or left or right, there's like this minute delay before the ship responds.
It was definitely funky how you also have levels where like you're mandatorily in first person. Like I just wish that
At least in third person.
either all of the game was like that or they just gave you the crosshair in third person. Either way, but this is where it's happening right now. It's hard to tell because of what the game looks like, but the glitching things happen with the graphics card or the capture card. That was it. So irritating.
But you know, it's a product of its time. It was a
I think
test
I recorded more
test/tech
topic
demo.
stuff
They did a great job.
of
If you're
Star
a fan
Fox
of Star
SNES and I
Fox,
cut
you
some
know,
of it.
I would definitely recommend
I don't really
playing
remember that well. It would have
It's
been much more
definitely hard.
voiceover
It
stuff
has, like, a dust to it,
because like
but it is a great game.
I didn't want to talk about it for
That's
too
enough
long,
talking
you
about
know.
the original game in the
Like,
series.
just
Let's refocus ourselves and get back
Get it
to
across.
talking
There
about
is a
Star Fox
whole bit that I cut though where
Getting back into talking about the Nintendo 64.
oh, so much.
One thing I
Gosh,
haven't
what's
mentioned
doing
yet
to me?
is
A
one of
long
the
day.
key gameplay features
There was a whole
is the
like
ability to
3-minute
upgrade
bit that I cut
the
where I
automated
was
health and your
complaining
damage
about the N64
In each
controller.
level, you can collect gold
Um,
rings. If you collect 3 gold rings, your
like
health bar
the way
will
that
increase in size.
the evolution from SNES to N64 and like how clumsy that controller can be. But I cut it, I mean, both for pacing reasons and I'm not even playing on the N64 version, so like it's kind of a moot point because I'm using the classic controller. So like, I can overlay some footage of that though, as I mentioned it. This is just like me like, what is this? You need 3 arms to play it properly.
The last couple levels on the hard
Yeah, I
path,
cut it though.
not having the hyper lasers makes it extraordinarily difficult, if not almost impossible.
Gotta get those hyper lasers. That's true. The game is
little nice details to it.
some
Like,
encounters
for
are
example,
like
you
almost
press up
impossible
on the
without
D-pad
them.
or forward on the C-stick. You go first person. Let's check it out.
There's a different alternate take to this one too.
Oh, that is nauseating, dude.
Yeah, I did a couple of takes of that one that I can play.
Wow, that is terrible. Let's never do first person ever again. Oh, that is.
That also
Too
happened
much damage
at a
to
different
one of the
point
wings
at one
that
point.
actually
Like that was
breaks
later
off,
on
and
in the video, and I
downgrade
moved
the
it
hyper
forward
lasers back to the standard B shooter. And this is where it
to
can be
break
very
up
difficult, 'cause if that
talking
happens
about
at the wrong
the gameplay
moment
mechanics
on
just
one
to
of the
put in a
harder
bit
levels,
because I didn't want it to
it
get too
makes it
boring.
all the more difficult, especially
You know,
facing
you're trying to
off
find
with
that
the
balance
bosses
of
like the
informative
Orgon
and
6,
entertaining, you know,
Andros
so
himself with the
I
P
moved
shooter.
that up
It's an
just to have some
extraordinarily long
fun distractions halfway through.
Now that we're back in the swing of things, Star Fox 64, I feel like the next thing we have to talk about is one of the game's most famous attributes. The
That
voice
line,
acting and the
This
characters.
also was originally, that's what the breakup
Sometimes
point was,
it is
because this
too
originally
much.
was after Star
You're not
Fox
alone on your
SNES.
journey through the Lylat System.
That's why I said,
Fox is joined
now that
by
we're back in the swing of things, talking about Star Fox 64, like of course, duh, we've been talking about it. I didn't notice that until now though. That's because that was the transition for a topic that occurred after, like that. Gosh, we're trying to say here. That's because I put in the motion sickness thing in between
Slippy,
the 2 points.
whose special trait is that he's terrible at flying and always needs help.
Slippy, watch out! Bogey on your tail! Whoa! Help me!
That whoa help me thing happens like frame for frame the same way in all the different games. I actually recorded a lot of stuff that didn't end up in the final product here. There's a whole thing where I highlight that they always ask for help at like the worst moment.
And lastly, Falco.
The mission in Sector Z, like the missiles are coming in and like all of them are like, help me quick!
I guess I should be thankful. You worry about your own hide.
Falco's such a jerk.
Your teammates aren't the only ones.
yeah, I cut
that are
that.
talking to you, though. All of the bosses do as well, and that makes for some of the most entertaining moments. In the game.
These lines are so timeless. That guy's my favorite. Cocky little freaks! It's like so. He says it like 2 times in a row. Like it's so weird. It's like the Santa Claus pirate. This guy's also pretty great.
Are you gonna listen to that
Monkey? You're not as stupid as you look. You can do a loop-de-loop.
Probably the most memorable
That's
of
funny.
all the snappy lines come from Star Wolf.
A bomb has been planted.
Can't let him do that stuff, Alex. These lines are so great.
Jeez. Can anyone take care of it?
Jeez!
Can't let you do that, Tom.
Andros has ordered us
To take you down. Becky, long time no see.
Andros' enemy is my enemy.
There's some pretty like messed up stuff that Pigma says
I
though.
didn't have to rehearse that.
Uh,
I just know it that well.
He's like, your daddy screamed real good before he died. Like that's like pretty tough, pretty hardcore for
Get to the
a
pond,
game that's actiony, sure, but like definitely not going into like that kind of territory with its tone.
Don't get too cocky, Star Wolf. Oh, Star Wolf. Star Fox.
What the heck?
I don't want to talk about every single boss fight in the game, but I do want to highlight two in particular. My two favorites.
I think that's the post-shower scene right there.
One of my favorite boss
I think
fights
it's hard to
happens
tell
on
like, at
one
this
of my
point. Maybe I
favorite
already missed it.
levels. Who would have
But yeah,
guessed?
there was definitely
It's
a
called
day where I
Best.
did like a 6 a.m.
This is one
shoot
of the
for this
two
to
levels in the
redo
game that
a couple
features
of
the
moments.
Landmaster, which is a tank, as
Probably
opposed
didn't make it
to
into the
flying
film though. Like I said, I
weapon.
recorded
The gameplay
stuff
is
for
insane.
the whole
It's
game
one
because
of
I
the
don't talk
best
about the whole
parts.
game in this video. Like I just kind of stop and I'm like, you know what? Hey, that's enough. I think I've covered my points and let's all go home. Because I wanted to avoid making another 45-minute long video. But I recorded live action and voiceover stuff for like the final boss and like fighting Andros and escaping, the false ending versus the true ending, Area 6's awesome music and how tough the Gorgon boss can be. Like I recorded all that, but I cut it because I was like, you know, I still want to do another 40-minute video. I couldn't think of any like good jokes or bits to complement that material either, so I just kind of ended it after talking about enough of the mechanics that I felt like I covered the game well enough to like get someone into it, but not cover the whole thing for them. Because I mean, truthfully, if you haven't played this game before, like you need to. What are you doing with your life if you haven't played Star Fox 64? I like this bit a lot. I'm proud of this one. My gradual horror reaction. Because, I mean, that's, like, crazy. I just sent that train flying into a factory full of all these people, and, like, the whole thing blew up. Killing countless lives.
Disasters.
This...
Don't just happen.
So this is from the TV show. That's the opening from Seconds from Disaster. I wish that I could have done like the actual thing where like they had that show puts all of the clips as like a whole video becomes a bunch of thumbnails, and then like it shoots past the camera like in a line. I wanted to do that, but I just don't have a way to do that with the access to editing stuff that I have. But I wanted to. So I did the best I could to like try to emulate the thing by just putting all of them around. But I used to watch the show a lot when I was a kid. This boss,
This clam thing.
this clam thing, I do genuinely think that this is the best boss fight in the game. You can think whatever you want of Aquas, the level, but that boss fight's great. There's so much multitasking to it, and like there's so many like optional elements to it. Like you can shoot off the snake things, you can destroy those, you can temporarily destroy the turrets to shoot the bullets at you. I didn't even know that before I recorded this. You can do the whole thing with just torpedoes if you wanted to. It's harder, but you can. So it's a great boss fight. Getting a little hysterical.
That insanity and all that multitasking is exactly
One thing I
why
regret is that I did that like insane hyperactive like but then like the voiceover goes right back to being like, and this is truly the best boss fight in the game. Like I don't like how the tone shifts there. But I mean, you gotta. It's hard to notice this stuff when you're making it. It truly is. When you watch videos of people that make this. Oh, here, hold on a minute.
Well, hello there. Who are you? I see you're playing Star Fox 64.
Pink wrinkled
You
shirt.
wouldn't want to miss out on the Rumble Pack, the accessory that was made and released with Star
I think
Fox
that this
64.
went really well,
Check it out.
personally. I threw that to myself. There was no assistance. I had to like huck it from off screen high enough that I could reset my body posture to then react to it coming at me.
You know, this game has multiplayer too. If we're gonna
So,
play with
it's just
this, we
me.
should check out the versus mode. What do you say? Multiplayer? I believe this game supports up to 4 players, but we are just 2. I'll see if I can wrangle up
Talks
some
like
more
a
volunteers. What do you
Shakespearean
mean?
actor.
We only need
But we
to
are
play it right now.
just
Again,
2.
all right, whatever. Okay, well, we can mess with this, but with the versus mode, we gotta.
Another bomb appearance. So
Win?
this is actually my mother and I playing the game right here. And then that Bob thing. My dad was behind him, and then like my dad's arms were. My parents are very helpful. They helped me out in these early stages. Super grateful for that. Okay, so this, the salesman character goes to ask that guy, it's my dad, to come play multiplayer Star Fox, and he just gets assaulted and robbed. That was the first scene that I ever filmed for this episode. I didn't know what I wanted to use it for. All I knew was I want to film a scene where I'm in a suit or like a button-up or whatever. I'm dressed really nice, and I get robbed. Like, and like the context of that changed so many times throughout filming, because I was like, oh, maybe he can be attempting to demonstrate the features of the rumble pack and like try to use it for self-defense, and it fails, or you know, like whatever. Like it's changed so much before it became that, which is just he wants to ask a guy to come play Star Fox with him, and he gets assaulted. Because there's actually a part that's cut from that at the beginning, because it was originally like a camera crew, and like the salesman character looks at the camera and says, let's go ask this guy right here, because that was part of like him looking for volunteers for his pitch or whatever, and then the context changed and I cut that moment out of it. There was also a breakaway bottle. He hits you with a plastic bottle that bounces off my head and flies away. It was originally a breakaway bottle that I was really excited to test, but it exploded as soon as we walked outside. Like the difference in like temperature and humidity or whatever, we brought it outside, put it down, went over, did like 2 or 3 practice takes of me like getting hit and falling down. We go over to grab the bottle to do it for real, and it just explodes. So then it was like, oh crap, the prop is destroyed. So we decided, well, let's grab the rubble of it and like throw that as another bottle hits me. But then it looked kind of like, it was like 50-50. It looks like blood spatter, and it also isn't even that visible, so we ended up dropping that. I must have gotten hit in the face with that plastic bottle and hit the ground like 9 times. Like my whole arm was all bruised up from like falling a lot, and that shirt was just destroyed.
Oh, here we go. Here's a guy right here. What's on him? Excuse me, sir. Moment of your time. Sir, a moment of your time. Excuse me, sir. Moment of your time. Sir, a moment of your time. Sir, a moment of your time.
People don't seem to like that game very much.
Good day though, lots of fun.
I never played it before. I don't have a Wii U. It's waiting for a good deal on one. I heard it's not very good though. But bottom line is, Star Fox is a franchise that's just riddled with the concept of starting at 0 every time. Star Fox on Super Nintendo.
Star Fox has been like exclusively remakes, except for like
gets re-released
a couple of really
64
iffy
3D.
entries in the series.
Star Fox Zero.
Star Fox Adventures,
Good Lord. Come on,
Star
guys.
Fox Assault,
Well, they did Star Fox Adventures,
Star Fox
and
Command,
Star Fox Assault on the GameCube are
Star
both
Fox
sequels to
Zero,
Star Fox
not well
64.
received either.
But they're kind of terrible.
So yeah,
So
Star
it's a really
Fox
odd
Adventures
franchise.
honestly
Nintendo
is
really has
garbage.
only
Like
found
I used to think that it was great when I was a kid, and then when I was like a teenager, I was, oh, this is okay, and now I'm a bitter old man, and I'm like, no, that game is trash. There's barely anything worth mentioning about it that's good, except for the voice actor for Fox. I will say that the voice actor for Fox McCloud in Star Fox Adventures is my favorite to date. I wish that they would have kept him. Loading credits again. Well, there goes another episode. I forgot that it was shorter because it's 22 minutes. But yeah. So hey, thanks for joining me on this commentary. Hope you found the alternate takes entertaining. There are more that I'm not including in this because they're already part of the blooper reel for the Outtakes Volume 1. So if you want to see like just straight up really goofy stuff that we just messed up or stuff like that, just check out that video, the Outtakes Volume 1, because it has a bunch of scenes from this that were pretty great. But I'll include some additional stuff as the moments make sense. to cut to and from. But yeah, so there's episode 2, Star Fox. I think that was pretty good. It's way more focused than my first episode was. It's half the length. It's got some pretty funny bits in it, me talking to myself and interacting, and I think that flowed pretty well. And the bits with Bob is the controller whack thing is pretty funny. Like, I think that there's elements of it that work really well. Learning. But yeah, it's always good to go back and see what was and reminisce. That's the whole idea. Want to preserve the memories and whatnot. So hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Definitely subscribe if you want to receive notifications of new content. I got a lot going on these days. We got these commentary videos. I got Let's Play content. We got the core episodes. There's more coming down the line too. Live streaming is on the horizon. So thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.